Alright, let's do this again. So yesterday, what I had in mind was that I was gonna start this talk just as some type of form of recording for myself. So in the future, when I succeed or I go further in life, I was like, hey, Juan Cal, look how far you've been. And it's just gonna be like my little diary that I have to, give reflection of my thoughts throughout the day. So it doesn't mean that I won't do anything like that. It's just gonna be purely me talking, and I'm gonna address any thought that I have in the back of my head, whether it's personal or not. I'm just gonna record it and just see what type of thought or type of reflection I have. So right now, to do this every single time I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be on a walk. Because for me, it's easier to talk that way. And I typically walk outside because it's more beautiful. And you see people, stuff like that. It's too cold. So for this very first episode, very first, whatever you call it, just gonna be walking on a treadmill. Talk, alright? Alright. Yeah, so I thought you can look through your note while recording. But I guess every single time that you open notes, there's gonna be a pause in the video. So this is not me cutting or editing. It's just me going out and taking note. So I'm gonna go look at the very first point that I have. So the first point that I noticed yesterday was that I tend to first see things happening and reacted based on the thing that I foresee, rather than what really is happening. So yesterday, when I wrote this thought, I was making bacon in the kitchen, and I'll be honest, a friend walked up to me and asked, "What is that coffee?" So the insecurity in my head, this anxiety I had in my head, think that they're judging me. So in my head, I was projecting this image that he's saying, "You, that's really disgusting. Why are you doing this like that?" And a sense of me just made me kind of piss off. And I reply in a very pissed off way, even though they haven't done anything wrong yet. And his question was genuinely from a point of curiosity. It's just my insecurity that's caused me to react in a way where I'm kind of like one step ahead of people. And often that involves emotion, and I always think of the worst possible outcome. That's typically how the human brain function. You foresee the most worst outcome there is. So, you live life and you always try to be safe. That's a bodily defense mechanism. Or, I don't know if this is right, something in my head said that people call it like lizard brain or something like that, or the amygdala. That's just kind of trying to fight a flight response. Think of the worst possible scenario, so you could be a step ahead. Be prepared for it, and that's how I've reacted to that situation. I see it as a threat, and I put my guard up immediately without even letting the event unfold and see what really happened, really their attention. I close myself off just to really protect myself. My little ego is scared that's gonna get hurt. And that's what I've been reacting with other events as well. Whenever somebody says something or do something, I always think it's the worst possible outcome there is. Insecure. They're pointing at me, they're laughing at me. And honestly, I've really been struggling with that a lot. And I mean, if that's what confidence is the ability to ignore all those things, all those thoughts in your head, to the point that they won't even come up anymore. And I guess that's how I would want to be, just confident in myself. And you still notice the insecurity you have, but you don't react based on it. And maybe I should read more or read back on this meditation, because Marcus does touch on these points a lot about how you should control your emotion and only let the external be external, the internal be internal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good thing, but I can see that you can foresee, I guess this trait also comes from the ability when I work. So it also comes handy when I work, because instead of working like the reality that I'm in right now, just nothing feels like it's progressing. I look forward in the future and see myself succeeding in my business, and that kind of make me react in a way where I'm excited to work and want to work more. So there are definitely pros and cons to this. You are often, like, sometimes you can be overreacting, and again, it's all in your head. So I gotta find a way to maybe come to terms with this emotion, and so that even an event like this come across, I won't feel insecure and overreact. The next point, I just found that you can like half swipe up, and you can just go into your note and read that without really clicking your note and stopping videos. So the next point is that there's just internal belief in me that I want to get a girlfriend or a partner, so that I can show up to my friends, show up to the people around me, saying, hey, I'm not a loser. and really dissecting that in my thoughts right now. It's just more a belief, and it's stemmed from like my childhood when I was obese and still obese. Look, see, that's right there is the internal thought talking. I still believe that I'm overweight, fat, and I can never be satisfied with the weight I'm at. And yeah, that's one of the biggest insecurity I have, and it caused me to chase after these things like girls, money, to kind of just fill up that void and to show my friend that I'm like, hey, I'm not a loser. And I guess to say that's just basically it's just my way to kind of fill the void that I have and relying my happiness on other people's thoughts. And man, now when I say it like that really makes me sound like a damn pussy. Again, it's when I really go internally, the intrinsic motivation of getting a girlfriend is loneliness. But for some reason, I don't feel depressed because I'm lonely. I don't really feel lonely at all. I know that it's there, but often the word I'm using is covered by other emotion, other work that I focus on, and I don't feel it as much. But the only reason why these days I've been chasing girls so much is because the extrinsic motivation. I want friends to say, yeah, good shit. I want my dad, mom said, hey, you got yourself a girl. Good job. And that's really, really tough to kind of decide whether this extrinsic motivation is going to be good if I were to enter the relationship. Because I'm just kind of, instead of focusing on the other person, I'm focusing on myself. And I guess the conclusion I'm about to come up at is that won't make me happy. Because once I fill those needs, I just gonna be, it's just not something that I want. And it's gonna take a while, but I think what I'm gonna do is try to, by no means I'm saying that you shouldn't pursue a relationship ever, and by no means I'm gonna just stop trying to talk to girls and stuff like that. But I guess I'm more internally aware every single time that I get that urge that I need to like start talking to girls or stuff like that, whether it's something that I actually am attracted to. I mean, it's not really gay, but if it's something that I really want in this period of my life, I just gotta take a deep dive, or it's something that is pushed by the people that I have around me. Yeah. and I'm just trying to come to terms. And if it's really something I want, and if it's someone I want to pursue, that will better my life and make me somewhat happy, or somewhat happy. I guess my shadow type of thought is saying that I won't get happiness from relationship, and more it's more like I won't fulfill myself by entering a relationship. So if I was gonna do this, it better be that it's something I want to, and it's something that will make the other person, that will be for the other person. So I won't love someone just because it fill my void of loneliness. It's more like I will love someone if I genuinely love someone. Loneliness and love is not something that can be replaced by each other. You gotta have loneliness, and you gotta feel that loneliness. Once you feel love, you just gotta feel it back with love instead of putting love into the loneliness void. It's not the same. I got one more point before I want to end this off. Why is it for people to commit to something that they do right and instead of doing something wrong? That's really obvious. Because what's right, you will get a reward for it. What's wrong, you get a punishment. And because we're so classical conditioned to bad behavior equal punishment, we strive every day to do the good behavior and get the reward. We're just classical conditioned that way. And by no means, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And it just make me wonder sometimes what's really right and wrong. There's really no such thing as right and wrong. And if I'm doing something that is wrong, and by wrong in my definition, it's something that's harmed myself and harmed the other person, something that bring harm, then it's something that is wrong. And if it's something that is right, and that's something that will fulfill the other person and will fulfill myself, I'm just gonna stick with that. And instead of abiding by like what society norm is, it's probably just easier that way. But if I was in this really, but that just kind of turn off your thoughts and thinking, kind of make you this kind of like mindless, numb person that never really question things in their life. So my point is that when like a dilemma arise, I will judge it by myself and what's right and what's wrong. If it harmed myself or if it harmed someone else, then that's wrong. Instead of just going by the mass, and if the mass says it's wrong, then it's wrong. So that's a belief I'm gonna try and hold on to. And I'm pretty much done with this. I'm like 6 minutes over to be 15 minutes, but just hand it off. Since something I said to myself yesterday, but it didn't get recorded. I'm said again. out in the future, if you were to look back on this, don't think too much. Life is really too short to think too much. And if a minor, or if right now you think a major inconvenience is troubling you, just look ahead, or your life is too short to think that these minor problems are really important. And just a grain of salt in a beach when you compare you to the whole universe. So what you do, what you want to do now, doesn't really matter. So just do what you want to do, and if whatever you think is a problem, it really doesn't matter. Alright, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna try to record one every day. And yeah, I enjoy this because I often just make my walk feel faster, and I often just watch video while I'm doing this. But while walking, just make my something about times go by really fast. So other than that, I'm gonna head out. Good talks.